Hello everyone. So in this video, I am going to talk about file operations. Under file operations, what can be the options? You can upload a file, you can download a file. Third option can be you want to render it on the browser itself so that you can view it directly. Render means you click on that, it will open like a page. So if it is a PDF, it will be opened as a PDF, right? If any other file, it will be open as whatever applicable, right? So this video we are going to talk about these three options. There are many use cases that are to cover under this, so let's discuss that. So these are the use cases that I am going to cover about. So file upload and download. Local file system is going to come into picture in the first one. Then we will be discussing with the DB. Local file system means where the application is running. If it is my local system, local laptop, it will be uploaded into local system into a folder, and when you download it, system will read it from that folder and it will be downloaded into your system. Database means whatever you upload, it will be uploaded into a database. For demo purposes, I am using MySQL, and when you download it, it will be read directly from the database and will be downloaded into your system. These two things we are going to cover as well. We will be showing the option to upload and download to single file as well as multiple file. We will show you how to render it and how to download it. There are two options, right? So we have to do configuration for each. File types, what file types you can upload? It is PDF, JPG, PNG, doc, Excel. What is the size? How many files you can download? Is there any threshold? Is there any control that we can put there? Deriving content type. So content type means it is PDF, JPG, image, or whatever is thing can be derived dynamically. And then file size constraints, right? So how much when if for example, if you have filled any form, when you upload a photo, a signature, there is a proper guideline that how you have to upload, what is the size that should be, and if your photo or your signature is not under those criteria, it fails. So how to put those constraints, how to put the file size constraints, right? And number of files at a time, how many files you can upload. So if it is a multiple file option, and it is allowed that at a time you can select only 5 files, so you cannot select more than 5 files, right? So how to put that constraints. And when you are downloading files, when you have selected multiple files, there is one option that individually each file gets downloaded, and there is one option that it system zips all those files into one folder and downloads it into your system. So how to do that? So all of these use cases that I'm going to cover. So if you know about this, there is no need to proceed, you can just skip it. Let's go ahead and create a sample project with Spring Boot, right? So here it is, start.spring.io. We are using Java. We are going with Gradle project, and version latest 2.3.1 we are going to use it. So okay, jar, and I want to use the Java 8, right? So Java 11 still I have not downloaded into my system, so go ahead with the Java 8. So for dependency, what dependencies that I need here? So web, only one dependency I need here, right? So for database purposes I need one more, but we will add that one later. So first we are going to look into the file system part, right? So for file system we just need the web part, right? So explore this and just let's check the build.gradle. So we have a starter web only, that's great. So we are going to download it and open this in IntelliJ IDEA, right? So here we have opened the project in IntelliJ IDEA, and it indexing the files and downloading the dependencies that are there in the build.gradle. So wait for that to complete. So it has downloaded all the dependencies that it needed, right? So we have starter web. So let's see this one here, file upload download. Yeah, cool, we are here. So let's change some configuration here. Application.properties, I do not need this. No, I'm just renaming it to use it YAML, right? So instead of properties, I love using YAML. It is for the configuration work same as property. So here I want to give port information 8081. I want to use it. So for now this configuration is enough. So I want to change the port number that it is using 8081, right? So this is a file download application from where I can start the application. So let's go ahead and create the control big name. So let's give it. So other controller we have, so just create that one quickly. So this controller is going to have multiple endpoints. So let me draw a broad diagram, so rough diagram, so that picture is clear that what we are going to write. So we are going to have one controller, file controller. This controller is going to take care of uploading. Under uploading, we will be having two endpoints, one for single file and second for multiple file. And the same case will be with the downloading. From multiple, I mean zip download, right? So this is the controller. We will be having two functionalities, uploading and downloading, and these are the final endpoints. So we will be having four endpoints. These endpoints will call the file storage service. File storage service, where we will be writing the actual code, will be called from each endpoints, right? So the endpoints that are there, each endpoint will call these services, right? So basically this controller will be having the dependency of file storage service, and these endpoints will call file storage service, and file storage service will be having the actual logic to do these things, storing single file or multiple files, or single downloading, multiple downloading, right? And this same functionality we will be repeating with the DB controller, uploading and downloading. So here 1, 2, 3 and 4 endpoints, right? And this also will be having the dependency of DB storage service. DB storage service, or you can say directly DAO, right? So we will be directly contacting with the DAO. In actual scenario, we will be having a service where you will be validating the data here, and your service will be contacting the DB storage service, DB storage DAO, right? But here we will, I'm skipping this service part and directly contacting with the DB storage DAO, right? And this all endpoints will be calling this one, 3, 4, 4. So in totality, at end of the video, we will be having the 8 endpoints, which will be taking care of all the things that we want to achieve from this project, right? So let's go ahead and start with the uploading part, right? So okay, so first write the class for the storage service, write the dependency for that. So I need to create this class, create class. I want to create a new a new service, new I mean storage service. So this is the location that I want to create a new package here, right? So here it is going to create, so that it is properly structured, right? So we are having this service, and this file storage service will be having the actual method. So coming again here, controller part, and auto wire this, create the constructor. Coming file storage service, annotate it with service, right? So instance of will be created, it will be created by the application context itself, right, when it is starting. So writing the first endpoint for uploading, right? So it will be the post mapping, because we are putting some data into the system. So here writing response entity, and we want something here. I want to respond with the file upload response, right? So I want to create a new object for this new class here. So this will be going under DTO. So I need new package for this, right? That's correct. So it is being created, file upload response here, right? So file upload response is ready. So when you will be sending a file as the body of this request, when you will be calling this endpoint, you will be sending a file to upload into the system. And to take care of that file, we have one class, one type, that is multi-part file, that is going to take care of that. And here I have to write, to take that as body, I have to write the request param here, right? So multi-part file, it is going to take care of that. And if I want to name that, give the name. So the param that you will be sending, that will be naming the file, right? And here now I have to store this file, right? So for that I have service file storage service dot store file, and pass the file here, and I want the name of the file to be returned by this method, right? So file name. So this type is the multi-part file, but the file name, what is the name of the file that it is being written? So whatever name of the file that you will upload, that will be captured in this file name. Out of this we will be creating the response, right? So to create the response, so this store file is going to be there in this method. Then storage service here, right? So just for now, just leave it blank. So we have this file storage method and the store file. Coming to here again, controller. So this method is now here. So now create the response entity, a file upload response from here. So response, we have new file upload response, right? So let's have some attributes here, right? So what we want here, so this URL basically, this URL will be returned from where you can download the file. Whatever is uploaded, it will return the URL from where you can download that file as well, right? So this will be containing this that URL. Content type, whether you are uploading the PDF, image, or doc, or Excel, any kind of that. And file name, it will be containing the name of the file, right? So for that, so let's create the constructor out of this, right? And also getter setter, so that JSON format is created properly, right? So our DTU is ready here. So I need now the file name, content type, and next I need the URL. So I have file name, I need to create the URL here. So string URL, servlet URI component builder is the class dot from current context path dot. Under this I have to give the name of the endpoint that I want to give to download it, right? So that I want to have as download. So it will make sense in a bit. Then we'll be having the file name here, and then so let me explain this what it is doing. Servlet this from current context path, it is calculating, it is making the URL actually. So from current context path means whatever server it is returning, it is going to return that context path from there, and then it is going to append the download from into that host name and port whatever you have, and then path, it is going to append the file name out of that. Then it is going to convert that into the URL string. So if I take an example, so current context path, it is going to return as like this. Localhost, our port is here 8081. I believe in application YAML we have given the port 8081, right? And into that it is going to append. So this 8081, it is going to return by the from current context path, right? So this entire URL will be written by this one, and then we are going to append the download here, right? And then the file name, whatever file name is, suppose abc.jpg, right? So whatever we are uploading here, if it is whatever file name it is being written, so from the file name that it is being stored into the system, actually it is going to return that, and then it is converting to the URL. So basically here we have the complete URL which we can click and download that, right? And next, coming to the content type, right? File get content type. So from that file I can directly derive the content type, right? Now we have we can return the response directly to the user, right? So now return response, right? So but here we have response entity, so actually we have created the complete object response here, so we do not need response entity here, that is not much needed here. So we can live with the file upload response. This will give the proper response, right? So now we have to store this file into the file storage. So let me draw it into the diagram first. So you have given a file, right? And I have to define a folder structure, right? A folder. I have to define a folder into the system itself first, right? So I have to from where to the place where I can store this file, right? So let me configure that folder where I'll be storing the file. So I can do it dynamically. So to do that, have I want to write some file storage location, right? And I want to give that, name it file storage, right? So this is the folder name that I want to give here. I want to create this folder. I want to create this folder and store the file into that, right? So when coming to file storage service here, so here it has file storage service is nothing without this file storage service, right? So let's create the dependency for that, create that one. So I want a constructor for that, right? And before doing that constructor, I need file storage path, right? So we are naming it file storage path, right? And into this one, and this file storage path we are going to initialize into this one, right? And this location I want to get here. So I want string file storage location. To get the value, this file storage location, whatever in application YAML that I have configured, I want to get here. So create that one. So I want to read the property from there in the application YAML. I want to use this, right? And file storage location, it is going to pick the location that is here, right? So if somehow it is not there, I am going to going to give the default location, that is temp here, right? And file storage path, it is going to be derived from this file storage location, right? So from this file storage location, I want the file storage path. I have to create that. So we have this class paths from nio dot get, and I have to give this location and dot to absolute path, and then normalize this path, right? So this way we'll be having the file storage path as instance of this one, so that we can copy the contents and all those stuffs do with this one, right? And with the file storage location, as per your requirement, you can throw some exception as well, right? So by default I have given this temp location, but you can also remove this one and handle the null pointer exception, null, right? So you can write that logic depending on the situation, that depending on the requirement that you have, right? So you can write this way, and if this file storage location is null, it is going to throw automatically an exception, right? But I want to I want it to be run anyway. So if it is not there, I want to make it resilient. So if file storage location is not there, so it is going to create a temp location by default, right? So I'm okay with that. So it is going to normalize that. Now we have this file storage path from this constructor. So when your service is being created, you have file storage path. Now when you have file storage path, so you want to create this directory, right? So we have files from the nio dot create directories. What directories that you want to create? So file storage path, you want to create directories out of that. So it is going to throw some exception. So let me handle that. So adding exception, no, it's around the try catch, right? So I want to throw an exception here with the proper message here, runtime exception, and I want to pass some message, right? So I want to pass this message, right? So I want to fail this. If there is an issue in creating directories, it is going to throw an exception, issue in creating file directory, right? So now we have this file storage service ready. We have this folder location. This is created. Now we have to store this file into this directory that we have here, right? So let's derive the file name from this file, right? So file dot get original file name. And sometimes there are in naming we have different characters, right? So to clean that out, we have string utils dot clean path, so that we can have this. So you can go to this clean path and see what is this doing. So if I show you this, normalize the path by suppressing sequences like path and inner simple dots, right? The result is convenient for path comparison. For other users, notice that window separator are replaced by simple slashes. So this is why we are using this clean path here, right? So this, now we have this file name here. So get the path out of here. So what will be the path of the file that you will be storing, right? So that will be this one, right? And out of this paths dot get, I can give this one. So now we have complete URL, right? File storage path is there and file name is there, right? So now we have file path where it is going to be stored. Now just copy the content that are there. So copy file dot get input stream, and where to copy this one. I want to copy this here file path, and there is a third parameter that I want to give here, copy option, standard copy option here. So there are different option here, right? So atomic move, copy attributes, replace existing. So I want to, so if you are uploading same files multiple times, so it is going to keep the latest one that you have uploaded. So I want to use this replace existing. So anytime that you upload a file with the same name, it is going to replace that one. So this is the strategy that I want with this one. You can always change this one, that's not an issue. So you can derive always, you can have a complete new random path, so that in any time you upload a file, it is treated as a new one, right? So it all depends on the file path that you are generating out of here, and you can change that one accordingly. So there is some exceptions around with try catch. So here also I can throw some custom exception here. So this is how this is how we can. So here we are done. So let me format the code a bit. So here file, we have derived the file name here, and here file path, it is generating out of that. So file storage path is there and file name is there. So after doing this, it is going to get the content of the file that you are trying to upload. It is going to copy these content into this file path with this strategy, replacing the existing one, right? And it is catching the exception and handling that one accordingly that you want, right? And here I want to return the file name, this one, right? So here it has done the task of copying, uploading the file into the system, and it is returning the file name. So this is the simple method that is there to store a file into a file storage system, right? If I run the application, I can upload the file into the system, but before running the application, let's write one more endpoint, that is to download the file, so that we can test two things at the same time, right? So let's go ahead and write one more endpoint. So we will be focusing on this download that we have written here. So second one is we have get mapping download, and here I want which file name I have to mention which file name I want to download, right? So here download single file, and the return type here I want to use the response entity, and response entity of what? Resource code.io, I want this, and under here download single file, I want one path variable here which can return me a file name, right? So now again storage service is going to come into picture, download file name. So I want to write this method here, and what I want to return from here, resource I want to return here, right? So let me quickly create this method into the storage service here. So now leave it as it is. So first clear this one, so return here new response entity, I want okay here, and under this okay I want to return the content type. So just create the content type. So this is the string that I want to create. Leave it empty for now, right? And then I want to pass the headers information. We have HTTP headers here. So under this we have content disposition here. So I want it as attachment. I want it I want it as an attachment. Attachment means when you are going to hit this endpoint file name, it is going to download that file into that. So subsequently, we are also going to see how to render that directly into the system, right? So first, see the option of download. So file name we have resource.get file name. So that we can, so it is going to download the file with this name as well, right? So that is why we are giving here this file name, right? So when you download the file, it is going to give you some name, random name, right? So that name, I want the file name, whatever is stored into the system, whatever you want to try to download, right? This is the content type here. So for now, derive the content type from here. So for now, just consider that we have image, some image value here. So this is the media type, right? Dot header, here we have added here header, and also we have to the important thing, that is body. And under body, what I want to return, resource, right? So here our download single file is ready here, almost ready. So file storage, it is going to do the task of downloading the file and going to return the resource. So content type, we have given the image JPG. So for now, consider that we are just handling about the files that are of image type, right? So subsequently, I'm going to change this one to handle all the extension that are there, whether PDF, whether PDF, JPEG or any other type, right? So for now, consider that they are image JPG, right? So and let's complete this download file folder. So let's write the code for download file. So for download file, I need the location that is given here. So to get this one, so I already have taken the value of this. So just I want this one, create this one, make it private, make this also private, and file storage location, just assign it. Name it this, right? So this, now we have this file storage location, right? So to download the file, we have the utility method paths.get. So we have file storage location and derive the absolute path from here, and then resolve the file name that we are sending it, right? And what it is going to return that, so introduce local variable, it is going to return a path. Now I want a resource, right? This resource we are going to get from URL resource, and into that I can pass this path dot to URI, right? So there is some exception here, so let's handle that. Pass a nice message to user that it is not there, and pass the exception here, actual exception that is coming there. So here also you can pass the exception so that it is propagated, what actual exception was created out of that. So this resource I can return from here directly, right? So this is okay now. So download file is also ready now. So we have get the path, created the path out of that, and we have created the URL resource, and this resource is there. Actually we have created the resource here, but we have not done anything with that resource, right? So that resource we can also validate whether that is fine or not, right? So if resource, so I have to have a variable out of that, right? And if resource dot is, if it is exists, and also if resource, there is one more method, is readable. If it is readable, only then return the resource. So these are the conditions that I can put. Otherwise I can throw an exception to respond to the user that there is some problem. That is why readable. So I can pass this message to the user that file doesn't exist, or it is not readable, right? So this is how we can handle this one. So this resource, just creating the resource out of that path, but if that exists or not, it doesn't know that, right? So if you return this resource directly, so it can fail as well. But when we are checking this resource dot exist or is readable or not, when you get that file, it will be properly downloaded and you will be able to open it, right? So that is why we are writing. So now we have this download location also ready, right? So now we have two things ready: download file, download and upload both, right? So let's go ahead and start the server and test this one, right? So coming here, file.com. So I think there has been some problem with the project structure here, so let me correct that one quickly. So file upload, download application. So this is how it should look like. So file, so the main file that you have, it should be at the parent location, right? And all others should be child of this one, right? So we have this file storage service under file download, right? So now we have correct folder structure here. So this is the correct structure. Let me start the server, and this was not supposed to happen, but it happened, but I have corrected this one. So let's start the server and see this in action. So while the server is starting, let me open the Postman as well. So this is the Postman from where I can interact with the system. So here we have server. So our server is running. This is running on port 8081. So let's go ahead and hit the first endpoint. So we have upload. This is the name of the endpoint that we have, right? So port is 8081, and this is the controller that we have written. Upload with the file system, right? So upload with the file system controller is here. So single upload, this is the endpoint that we have, right? So single upload is here. So now I have to pass this is the this is HTTP method is post, so I have to do that. So here I have to give the file here. So what is the name? I have given file here, so that's okay. And here text, I want this as a file so that I can. So let's choose a file from here, right? So these are the different files here. So I can see here. So let's select this one, image file that we wanted. So that's it, we need only this under the body, right? So let's send the request and see how it is behaving. Okay, so it is saying that not found, single upload, it is not found. Post mapping is there. Okay, we missed a very important thing, that is REST controller here. So I need to put the REST controller here, right? So start the server again and wait for the server to start. And if everything is fine, we will be having the storage folder created in the current project directory that we have here, right? And clear this out and try this again, right? So it has given me the location from where I can download the file, and the name of the file, content type, what it is. It has given me all the things, right? So let's see that there has been something on the server side or not. So let me refresh this folder here. So there is some problem. Storage that we have given here, application YAML file that we have given here, file storage, it should have been created here at this location, but somehow it is not created. But file storage location, but temp is also not created. So we just to start it properly, file storage is so I think there is problem in creating this one. So let's remove this one. So I think this path was creating problem. So it was getting, so file storage service is getting the value of this file storage location, but it is not able to create that directory, right? So let's fix that one. Server is running now. Let's go ahead and hit this again. So the response is correct here now. Let's see, the file is created now. Now file storage is created now right here, right? So the problem was with the location that we have given. So it depends when if you are on the Windows machine or on the Linux system, so the location that you give, that depends, right? So for Windows it is taking without any slashes in front of it, right? So file storage is here, and file operations.jpg that we wanted, we got it here, right? And if I want to download that file, we have also got the endpoint for that, right? So download file, it has given me, see the file directly here. There is some problem in the URL here, download file, and but the path was supposed to be like this. Now we are getting this file, right? So this path that we have created in the response, there is some problem. Let's correct that one. So here where we were creating the download location here, so we needed to append this slash here as well, right? So let's stop this one and create this, start the server again and see this in action. So file operations we have here already, right? So one file we uploaded and downloaded that file as well, right? So here come to the post one, so change this file one and take another one, right? So banner, suppose that I want it, and send it. So I got this one. Now we have this correct path, right? So if I send it again, I'll get this one, right? So the file that we uploaded, we are getting the same file, right? And if I upload the same file again that we were trying to upload earlier, file operations, right? So same name, I'm getting this one. Now send it, we will get this properly, right? So this is the postman that I'm trying. So if it is the get request, I can get the same thing. I can get the same thing from the browser as well, right? So this is the browser that we have, paste it and enter it, right? So it has downloaded the file, right? So it is not rendering in the browser. I told you in the use cases section initially, so it is downloading the file, not rendering that one, right? We are getting the same file. But what if I want to render this on the browser as well? What change if I want to render the file here on the browser as well, there is one small change that I need to do. Coming to controller here in the download section, you have given the value of this content disposition, right? So let's copy this one and one more line and comment this one, right? And this attachment, change this one with inline, right? So inline means it is going to render that into the browser itself, right? Stop and start the server again. So now we have all the files that you stored once, it is being stored in the file store. We are not cleaning up that folder, right? So I can directly hit this, I can directly download this banner, right? I can directly hit the download location, right? File operation, it is rendering the file in the browser itself, right? So we have you can do anything with this. So we have seen the render and download as well, right? So and that's what change that you needed for this as well. Now we have given the content type as image.jpeg. So let's try with one more. So in the postman here under upload, I want to upload some PDF file. We have multiple PDFs here. Let me upload this one. So it has uploaded that one. Let me open this one as well. Send this request. So your postman is not able to render the PDF, right? So let me open this in the browser. So here also it is not able to render it because whatever you are sending here, it is of PDF type, right? So I have to do the changes here to the media type, application PDF, right? So if I do this and start the server again, it is going to render properly. So if I see here, it has stored the PDF file as well, right? So application is running properly. Hit this again and I am able to see the file properly here, right? And if I go to postman and send it here also it is going to save that file. It is not going to render that file, but it is going to save, because your Postman is not configured to render the PDF file. That is why it is doing so. So this is how. Now coming to the, we are hard coding this one. So coming to the point where I want to generate this type dynamically, how we can do that. So let's see that. So to generate the content type dynamically, I can do few things here. So let's see. Servlet request, that is there always. So from this request I can get the context, get servlet context dot get and my type, and from that what to pass into that. So resource dot get file dot get absolute path. So when we pass this one, so I am just handling this exception out of here, just printing the stack trace that is going to come here. So if I request and get absolute path from here, so get MIME type. So basically this MIME type is the content type that we want, right? This MIME type is there. It is the content type that we want, right? One more thing, let's create the local variable for that. MIME type here and comment this out, and here media type I want to parse this media type, and under this I want to pass the MIME type that we have, right? And in case there is an exception, it is not able to derive the MIME type that is there, so I want to give some default MIME type that it has, right? So what I want, that one octet string value. By default I want this value to be the MIME type, right? So this is the MIME type. This is what I'm trying to derive that dynamically, and here MIME type, if there is any exception, there is an issue, it is going to set this one, right? And here content type, we are changing parse media type. So this is how we can derive the content type dynamically, right? So let me stop this server and start this again and try to upload the different content type of file and download that one, right, and render that one. So in downloading there is no, so server is running now. Let's go here, coming here and choosing the file. So let's first this file is already there, right? So I can go ahead and refresh this one. Application PDF, it is rendering this one properly, and if I refresh the JPG, it is rendering this one properly as well, right? And if I come to of different file type here, let's see with the text type, right? One text type, let's see that as well. So it has downloaded that one. So yes, it has rendered all the content that is there in the content file, right? So if I, it has rendered all the content that is of text. So now the rendering is being taken care dynamically with the help of that content type. So you can go ahead and try with the docx, xlx and any media type that you want, right? So far we have covered two endpoints: single upload and single file upload and single file download. Let's see how many use cases are left here. So this was the use case. So file upload, download. So we have covered local file system and single file, and render file in the browser also we have covered, and file types also we have seen, right? And we have also covered this deriving content type dynamically. This file size constraint, number of files, zip files, multiple files, and most importantly database, it is still left. So this video is going too long, so let me conclude it here and cover the rest part in the second part of this video. If you have watched the video till this point, I hope you found the content useful. If so, please do me a favor by sharing it as much as possible. I'll see you in the second part of this video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Thank you.